Hey everyone, welcome back to The Hidden Brick, where today we're doing part one of the build of the Lego Technic bucket wheel excavator. So I've had a few requests for this set, and it's an enormous set. It is the largest Lego Technic set that has ever been designed and produced to this date. It has 3,929 pieces. It's going to be an enormous set once it's completed. The box itself is absolutely huge. You can see it shows you some of the play features, kind of with this flap that opens up, and then you turn it around and it shows an alternate model that you can build with the same parts. You can't build these at the same time unless you have two of the sets, but you can take it apart and build this alternate model. So, see, it also has a extra large motor and a battery box because it is a what they call a power functions style set, which means that the linkages and everything that is connected can be motorized, or that it will be motorized. All right, so I'm going to turn this down. There's going to be a ton of stuff in this set, or this box, so let's go ahead and dump it all out and see what we have in here. Actually, before I go dumping, looks like there's some stuff I can pull out. Here's the instruction book. I mean, it is as big as a phone book. There is also a sticker sheet in there, so I'll move that to the side for now. There's also a box inside of here. So there's a box within a box. Is there another box in there? Nope, that's the only box inside the box. Right. So there's all of our bags of parts, not counting everything in that box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, right behind me, lay these out by number, because we're going to build these basically in order. So I have a bag 8. There's bag 5, bag 6. There's quite a few bag 6s. There's more bag 6s. This is another bag 6. 7 and 8. Here's bag 4. Another 8. Here's another 4. Another 4. Another 6. And here's our extra large motor. I'm actually not going to throw that on the ground. Bag 6. Bag 7. Bag 6 and 4. And bag 5. Alright, so that's interesting. Everything in there was bags 4 through 8. So we have this other box that was in here. Put this up. And so this looks like it has all of our beginnings. Bag 2, bag 1, bag 3, bag 2, 2, here's the 1, 2, 3, and our battery box. All right, so I'm going to move some stuff around, open bag 1 parts, and we'll jump into this build. Okay, we have everything for bags 1 dumped out, and I just kind of dumped them out in little piles on the table based on each little bag. So I've got some wheels and tires that I'm going to move to the side. One thing interesting about this bags 1 is we have this bag that has all of these round bricks and dome shaped bricks, and that's more or less going to be the rocks or the gravel that's going to be inside of the dump truck, and that's what we're building in this first portion of the video is the actual dump truck part that the bucket wheel excavator is going to be dumping all of the parts that it excavates out into. So I'm going to start with some connecting of lift arms and friction pins and all the other fun stuff that goes with this dump truck. Now there was a dump truck build I think it was last year. Well, the set did come out in 2016. So I think in the early 2016, or maybe it was late 2015, there was a small dump truck. It was yellow. And I think this is based on that same model. So I guess you can add, if you have that model, you can add this to your fleet of dump trucks, I guess you would call it. Alright, so we have here, we need the black axle with the pin on the end. There's only one of them in the set, I mean in this bag. Or no, there's two. There's another one I just didn't see. Right, we have this little knuckle gear. This piece with these orange parts. So I've had this set for quite a while. Picked it up last year sometime when it was 20% off on Amazon. Let's see, how does this go? Something is not lining up. All right, it's gonna be a long day if I'm messing up already. Let me backtrack one. Okay, I see what I did. This piece is supposed to be moved over one hole. Put that there. Now this should line up. All right. So anyway, like I was saying, I picked this up last year, 20% off. It's an expensive set. I mean, you think 4,000 pieces, it's obviously gonna get pretty expensive, but I think I got it for around $200, maybe $210, which comes out to be close to about 5 cents per piece. A little over 5 cents per part, which is pretty good. And there's a lot of large parts. You get a large or extra large motor, a battery box, some tank treads. There's a lot of cool parts in this set that I think if you can find it at a good price, it's definitely worth the money. And definitely great for building up a good collection of Lego Technic elements if you're just barely getting into Lego Technic. Alright, we have a T-shaped piece. A couple of friction pins on here. That piece, a non-friction. I call this a pin bushing. It's basically a one long lift arm. Just put it on there and you can see it just creates a little buffer area in between that space. So this is going to attach like that, just making sure it matches the picture. It's one thing that's critical about Lego Technic as you're building it. You really have to make sure that you pay attention to the instructions. Of all Lego that you put together, Technic is the one that if you mess up, then you're going to be doing a lot of stuff to fix it. So you really, really have to pay attention. And sometimes when I'm building, I'll kind of get quiet. And sometimes people ask me why I'm so quiet. And it's because I'm actually studying the instructions, trying to make sure that I put everything on right. Same with the part call outs for each step. If you pay attention to those, make sure you don't miss any parts, because it's easy to overlook something and that will mess you up in the long run too. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There's not too many complications that I have with Technic. And I guess the challenge of it, you know, the fact that you have to pay attention and carefully go through the build is something that I like about Technic. Now, I'm not saying that regular Lego sets are non-challenging, because for sure they're challenging to some people, but for a adult fan of Lego, or even a late teen that is looking for something that's a little bit more of a challenge, then definitely Technic is worth looking into. So this is the beginnings of our steering mechanism for the dump truck. So you have these axles that they're kind of moving right now. Nothing really connected to it to help it steer just yet. Well, as soon as I say that, we put it on there. So there's our little steering rack. And we're going to drop a knuckle gear right in there. And slide a 6-long red axle in there, just like that. Have a bushing, and then this black bevel gear is what will interlock those gears together. So you can see now when I move the rack, that those knuckle gears are interlocked and moving. That's one thing you have to kind of go through each step, especially stuff that's interconnected and moving, is check it occasionally to make sure that it still moves and that you haven't put a piece on there that actually binds the whole system and prevents stuff from moving. Because the other key element with Technic is there's a lot of moving parts. And if you put something on there to prevent it from moving, then you've completely messed up the whole point of the set. Okay. This axle with a stop there. This will slide in. Another one of these lift arms. Should interlock just like that. Friction pin. All right, so looks like this piece perfectly fits in there. You can see how that top hole lines up with that yellow axle joiner. And we'll slide this 3-long axle through there. Make sure everything still turns. And we have the 3-long friction pins. 2, 3. So I'm basically starting this build on a Saturday morning, and I'm planning on spending a couple days to complete the build. The deal with Technic sets is all of these little pins and axles and tiny little thin lift arms, stuff like that. The more that you put on, the more it kind of digs into your fingers. And basically I have to give my fingers a break every couple hours, or else I'm in pain while trying to build this set or any Technic set. That's why I really like the medium size Technic set, something that's around 600 to 1,000 pieces, because those I can typically build within a couple hours and have very little pain once completed. I think there's always a little bit of soreness, but it's not quite as bad with those medium-sized sets. So you guys are kind of just seeing all of this. You know, I'm going to break this up into a series of builds, but through the magic of movie magic, I guess you would call it, it's going to appear like I've been building it all in one sitting. But that will not be the case. Although I guess I could, you know, lie and say that I built it all in one sitting, because movie magic, I mean, how can you verify it? You know what, now that I think about it, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna stop building. I'm just gonna marathon build this, and who cares about my fingers? Wink wink, movie magic. All right, couple more pieces and we'll be done with this little section. I have 4 of these. Whoops, I just put that on the wrong side. Pay attention to the instructions. They showed this being turned around, facing this way. Now we'll put 4 of these pins in. These pins have the stud on the end, so you can actually connect a Technic brick to it. We'll line this up here on the front. Slide a 5 long axle through it. This is where it hurts, sliding that through those thin lift arms. When we fold it up, you can see it kind of creates the, I guess, the front bumper area type of the dump truck. All right, next is this 7 long lift arm. Put a couple friction pins on here. This guy, and this guy. We have a tile. That's what I was saying with those pins with the studs on there. You can see once they're on, you can connect a actual Lego element. And we're going to get our first sticker. This is sticker number 14. We have a very large sticker sheet, which is reasonable considering the size of the set. And that sticker goes there. So we got the MK3 42055, and the 42055 is the set number. MK is the initials of the designer, Marcus Kosman, I believe his name is. And then the 3 is, this is basically his 3rd enormous set. So we had the mobile cranes, the MK1 and the MK2. He designed both of those. And then this enormous bucket-wheeled excavator is his 3rd large, what they call a flagship model. It's the big model that kind of finalizes the year in Lego for Technic. Alright, so we have these axles that go across like this. Kind of creates like a little, I guess, handrail type detail. We have 2 of these 3 long axles, friction pins. Have 1 more. couple of regular friction pins, and then one more of the 3 long. We'll slide in there. That piece will go right there. These 2 pieces connect to the axle that was exposed there. I have this 11 long lift arm. It's going to get a couple stickers. Sticker number 9. It's actually, there's a 9 here and then there's an 8 on the other side. It's 2 stickers. That's 9, here's 8. Very good. And this will clip on those friction pins right there. So that's our front bumper, I guess. Two of these pieces are pinned with the stud, and we have a clear stud to represent some lights. Another one of these thin lift arms. These thin lift arms are one of the ones that really tear up your fingers pretty quickly. So you have to put axles through them, and then those axles kind of dig into your fingers as you're putting them on there. All right, so we have 2 white 1x1 round tiles. This slides on that axle there. Next we have a couple of axles with these little axle joiners. .90-degree joiner there, and this piece go all the way through. Yeah. Pulley wheel. Oh, that's right, on these dump trucks, the cabin is right here. This is basically like a little platform that they can walk out onto. I'm forgetting the scale of this thing. One of these dump trucks in real life is absolutely enormous. Probably about the size of a 2 or 3 story house. So that kind of gives you a sense of scale for how big this machine is that we're really making. So there's our little hand of God steering right there. I just noticed that I forgot to put this other piece on. So that slides on there. Okay. My axle actually doesn't go all the way through. See if I can give it a little help by pushing it back through. This is gonna hurt my hand, but yeah, it'll be fine. All right. so it's looking good so far. Have this 7 long lift arm, some friction pins on here, 5 long. That'll go there. More of these thin lift arms. These are the finger killers. 3 long axle. Ouch. Hurting myself here. I have 2 of these white thin lift arms. This piece on there. Another axle. A single thin lift arm. Finished it off like that. So this whole piece will slide in that axle. So that's the cab of the dump truck, and it looks like on this step we're also going to put a few stickers on. Sticker number 9 and sticker number 8. That there. Here's sticker 8. It's basically a couple little warning stripes. And we have the other tile piece with the other sticker number 14, the MK3 sticker. I'll slide there. So you've got that one on this side and this one over here to finish it off. Do a couple of bushings, 7 long axle just hanging out here. Okay, we'll move this to the side. We have our bucket to build next. This piece here, there. Need to build another one just like that. Keep forgetting that one little part there. All right. So that's all good, just like that. Have a 5 long lift arm right here in the middle. Put this on the table. It can be easier to slide some of these axles through. So I have these angled axle joiners. We'll put an axle with a pin. And then these will attach to the black axles that are sticking up out of that part. See, we have our 7 long lift arms with some 3 long friction pins. Stack 2 of them on there. That piece on there. That'll go like that. Single friction pin and then a 3 long friction pin. Alright, so we have this panel. We're going to put 3 long friction pins in there and some lift arms on both sides. I just dropped a pin on the floor. They usually give us an extra one, sometimes 2, so I'm not going to worry about that one until I run out of what's on the table here. All right. Those parts. This will go there and right there. And then it slides on top of these friction pins that are sticking up. This reddish brown axle with a stop. Put that on there. Another reddish brown axle with 2 thin lift arms and a bushing. That piece will go there. And we're attaching it in here. So it's some sort of mechanism. Turn this over. Have some friction pins on both sides. And then we have these like wedge panels. I like these panels because they're finished on both sides, meaning it's flat and then flat. I mean, there's kind of like ridges in it, but they're kind of flat. Versus these, they're kind of hollow on the inside. And these are more finished. I mean, these are hollow on the inside too, but the outside finished area looks pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna put some 5 long lift arm, yeah, I guess these are lift arms, beams, whatever you want to call them. They will both clip on the sides to create the side of the bucket. So now we're ready to attach it to this piece. So it shows this part dangling down, which it is, and then we line up the holes on that black part and slide this axle all the way through. So that kind of creates our little dumping action piece. And then we're going to take this axle with a stop, line this gray part up with the orange pieces, slide that axle through. It should line up with the axle holes. So that's our lifting mechanism. And we're going to put 2 of these pin joiners and a bevel gear That will give you something to turn, to basically dump the thing. And then of course we have our steering that still works from that little hand of God piece. All right, so we have a basic 4x6 Technic plate, Lego plate. Just a regular standard Lego plate. We're gonna put these dark blue grill tiles on here. And then we have a lot of these corner panels that when you stack them up like this, it kind of makes it look like steps. Or a little ladder going up. So this will attach to those. Remember we put these pins on there with the studs. So you push it through here and it lines up perfectly. I say that, but it's a tight squeeze. There it goes. Yeah, attaches to that. So you can see they can climb up those little steps there. The next thing is our wheels and tires and a few bushings and a few more stickers. So let me go ahead and put these tires on the wheels. Kind of standard Lego Technic, or really any Lego set wheel and tire. Nothing overly fancy. All right. So these kind of, once you get it on like that inner rib, you can kind of squeeze it and it naturally wants to connect on there. So we put each one of these on the axle that's sticking out, and we're going to put a yellow half bushing on each one. Slide that on, yellow half bushing. And our last one. So a few extra pieces. Now we do have 2 more stickers to put on. Let's see, sticker number 6. You can see this one just has the MK3 insignia on it. Carefully line this up the best I can. Sometimes putting these on the panels is a little weird because you don't really know what to line it up with. But it looks like once you kind of have it on there, they give you enough room on the sides to fit it on there. So there you go. That completes bag 1 of this build. And remember, there's also this bag of little round pieces. And like I said earlier, this is the load that it carries. So imagine that being rocks or precious coal or whatever they're mining out of the side of the mountain with the bucket wheeled excavator. All right, so that completes bag 1. It also completes part 1 of this build. So this is pretty cool. This is like a set within a set. I mean, this, like I said earlier, this is something that you could market as its own little Technic set. But part 2, we're really going to get into the beginnings of the main bucket wheel excavator. If you look at the instructions here, it shows you a little picture. And bags number 2 is going to build this little, I guess, turntable, like enormous. It's not little, it's an enormous turntable. So make sure you stick around to see that. Check out my other videos. I have links down below. If you love this video, you'll love all the other Technic videos I have on this channel. So check those all out, and we'll see you in the next one.